When I built my first PC in 2016, I used new components almost 100%. I think the only used item that I did add to that build was a hard drive that I owned from an old computer that I was getting rid of. So I just added it to it for more space. Everything else, I actually built what was called the Boson 3.0. The Boson 3.0 was Austin Evans, who actually put together a $300 build. And oh yeah, it was crazy. A $300 build that you could actually get all the components. Here it is, and you could build yourself a PC that was able to run, everything at the time. Games like GTA 5 and so on and so forth. Last time I played an Austin Evans video, they were asking for like freaking content, whatever. I was like, whoa, because I think his content's under some whatever it is. But here's the video. If you want to go ahead and watch it, you can see it. He put together the build, $350 gaming PC, March 2016, and he talked about the components and all of the other things that were there. I built this PC, but it could not run the Division 1 at 60 FPS. So I sent everything back because it was built on AMD's old framework, because it used the AMD FX CPU, and I think it was using like a Radeon something. I can't remember exactly. And I went with the RX 480, and I went with the i5 6500. And that cost me maybe close to $700-ish, $600-700 overall for that build. And I was able to run everything at 60 FPS at that moment. There was not a game that was, beyond what I could do with it. What's funny is, though, when you think about development these days and developers saying, oh, our games are hard to optimize, I'm like, really? Okay, whatever, man. It is what it is. I'm not going to jump into that whole thing right now. However, I got a comment that somebody was talking, that somebody pointed out in my video that I've been talking about, PC components and such. And they said, something about if you're going to use used parts, for a PS5 Pro, it's impossible to get the same performance. Now, what I want to do in this video is I want to go ahead and kind of talk a little bit about the used parts market in terms of PC components. It's something that sounds almost taboo when you're talking about the hardware piece with, folk on console. But people on PC, everyone's got their comfort level, right? But I haven't met a PC user that was against, used components in a sense. We don't look at it as taboo. You can buy something that is a dud, don't get me wrong. So you have to really be careful. There are some things that we can advise depending on your tolerance level that you buy from, say, used. And then there's some things we say, just go ahead and buy brand new. So what does a used market actually look like? Like, is it full of like a whole bunch of like, shady little stuff there? Is it something that, that you can't really get your hands on? Actually, it is kind of, in a sense, corporate. If you understand, you can actually get a lot of open box items from the traditional sellers of PC components, Newegg, Amazon, B&H. The only thing is the warranty that comes with them are either 30 days or, in the case of Newegg, 90 days. In the case of Amazon, I think it's 30 days. And the manufacturer is not going to warranty the item, so you're probably going to be out of money if something goes wrong. So it's a risk you're taking. Now, believe you me, I'm one of those people who will take those risks a lot, because after building my first PC, I said to myself, how bad can it be if I used, some used items or some new items, and I put together a second build? And I did that, and it was like, this is fine. Now I still do both. I'll buy used or I'll buy new or whatever it is. For me, it's all about utility at this point. You feel me? Like, I'm not sitting there going and saying, oh, what is this and what not. I'm not gonna try. I'm not gonna pretend like I'm gonna be picky or whatever it is. If I need something and it's at the price point that I want it, I'll go ahead and get it. But what I found out was, here in the open box segment for Newegg, they have got a whole bunch of stuff, man. I mean, it's insane the amount of stuff that is sitting here that everybody is thumbing their nose against and don't want to touch. There have also been some reviews, and I've been looking at reviews that have come with this stuff as well, where some people are complaining that this stuff that we're buying is not good quality. It's not been tested very well. And so again, this is where the rubber meets the road, right? This is where things kind of get really wonky and weird. So people are adamant about it, but then, some people will buy a console used. So this is for that person who is not against used items, if you get what I mean. I don't want to see your comment telling me, well, I wouldn't recommend use. Get out of here. I don't care what you're recommending. Okay? Like I said, this video is designed and designated for the person who is comfortable. You hear me? Comfortable with used items. That's it. Okay? If you're not comfortable with it, keep your recommendation to yourselves. We know that you would prefer to recommend, the new items, but that's not what this video is actually exploring. Okay? Now, we're not even saying jump in on eBay, man, get in here. No, we're just going straight to a storefront, a distributor who's been doing this for a minute, right? Reputation, right? Let's see what they got. Let's see what they have sitting here. They've got these refurbished MSI 3060s. Interesting stuff. $299. RX 7900 XT, $800. These prices are trash though. This EVGA RTX 3060, I read the reviews. There were, I think, 3 reviews, and 2 people said they got duds. Don't touch it. The Zotac, 2 reviews, 5-star rating, $279. Zotac, I have a 1070 Zotac. That's how far back I go with this brand, right? I think they make some good stuff. So if I was going to buy a GPU here in the 3060 series, this is the GPU I would buy. I straight up buy this GPU. That's literally what I'm going to buy. The 2060s, they're kind of, if they would sell them for like $120, I'd take it and do a small tiny build for one of my kids that's working their way towards getting their own gaming PC. Like, it just makes sense. The 6500 XT for $179 is a nope. I don't know why. The RTX 4080 for $1,000 is a nope. The 4070 Ti for $799 is also a nope, refurbished. These NVIDIA GPUs are crazy, man. That's one thing that they always do. There's some nice AMD GPUs that I saw here that I thought, yeah, these GPUs are nice. The 7900 XTs, I never was able to buy any of them. The XTX, they want to sell $949. No, this GPU when it came out was about $1,000 brand new. This specific one, B&H was selling it. I remember. Man, there were way more GPUs here yesterday. Interesting stuff. People are buying them, right? People are buying them. People don't necessarily care about, this adamance that some people try to hold when it comes down to it. They'll buy a device that they need or they want for a second build or a build for their kid. It's a risk that they're willing to take. And this is just B&H's collection so far. We don't know how much they have in terms of stock, but I see people saying, oh, GPU prices are a scam, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, will you be quiet? There's a used market that almost always, from the economic side, keeps the new market humble. Now, I have a mouse and keyboard on one of my builds that's annoying me, and I think I'm going to snag something here. But what is this? Oh, these are like, nah, who's buying $100 mouse? Get out of here. Oh, what the heck is that? Excuse me. PC components. This is where you'll probably be able to get yourself some really nice. Let's see what's going on here. And guys, this to me is, is a fun enterprise. I just go around just looking at stuff like this to see what can I get over here. I'm just like, I'm just curious, I'm just checking stuff out. You can do comparisons with brand new equivalent items. This is all now scattered. You really want to go ahead and filter stuff out. And as you're doing this exercise, it just gives you a sense of what the market looks like on different components. When it comes to like PC components, I'm a bargain hunter. I don't want to give anybody full price for stuff in many cases. I've learned some hard lessons. There's some things that I would never cheap out on anymore, and these, this is why you probably hear people say that. Um, Power supply is one of those things, but then I've noticed that power supply is not necessarily about the cost. It's the quality of the power supply, because I have cheap power supplies when and say in cheaper than others that have run every build that I've actually put them through with high fidelity. Whether the build gets switched off, you got kids at home, they go ahead and pull a plug, power button, nothing happens to the computer. Then I've spent money on some power supplies that they just had a slight flicker and then they just died, right? And it was a so-called more expensive power supply, but it didn't necessarily live up to its price, I guess, at the end of the day. So these, in my opinion, anyways, kind of show you how you can assess the market and take a look at what's going on, take a look at what prices will look like, and as you're engaging in this, it gives you kind of a sense and a keen eye for things that may be useful for you. And when you see a price of a new item, you'll know if you're scoring a deal or not. So let's say, for instance, you come out here and you see a 3060. The 3060 they're asking 279, right? And you go and look at a brand new one, especially in a hot market like this, where everything is so hot. Right now it's insane, right? Oh, they just want all this money, and the GPU prices are a scam according to people. Then you come in and look at a brand new GPU, a brand new 3060 from MSI, and it's like 329 compared to 279. So there's a $49 difference, I guess, between both of them. Now, what do you get for $49? You get a manufacturer warranty for 1 to 3 years on this card. Is it worth it? Heck yeah, it's worth it. Right? The 3060 is a $300 card. It does a really solid job at $300. Keep in mind that this GPU, when we had COVID scalping, was close to $800. People wanted $600-$700 for this thing, right? So when people say, "Oh, you're gonna get scammed," blah 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 blah, I'm like, what, bro? We're seeing it right here, 329 for this, the gigabyte version. This Asus version, I think it's because it's Asus. They want to say it's a scarce one. I bought this thing. I had it in my hand, and I returned it and bought the 6750 XT. I don't know, for some reason there's just a weird feeling that I have that I probably should have kept it. I don't know. It's not a smart idea. I really want a 3060, but I'm gonna wait till they're dirt cheap. And then all these people asking for all this, different stupid monies for it. So now you see exactly what you need to pay when you assess both of them from new and used, right? So you can engage in buying used items, or if you don't have the comfort level, compare to see what the new item will be and how much more money you're going to be saving or spending at the end of the day, if you understand me. All right. Just wanted to show this stuff and use Newegg, even though Newegg has a weird reputation. I'll probably recommend others, but again, used items they're their thing. But I think they actually hold a place in the market today. Thanks for watching. Peace out.